Let's go to a white, or to a neutron real quick. There we go. I'll just have to clear mass lock enough to just need to get it up above the horizon. Nope. This is one of the things that's easier with VR because you can like look out of the ship to see where the target is. It's like usually when I do this in VR, I'm like looking like straight up backwards to be able to see where the star is. There we go. Star class black hole. No! I didn't even check because they're always neutrons. I'm so used to them always being neutrons. There we go. It's going good. Just got to waypoint 6. I was checking that out. It's so pretty. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's really beautiful. And I'm just gonna jump over to a neutron and just talk real quick about jet cone boosting on neutron. So when you're jumping to neutrons, it's kind of your call. Some people do zero throttle for them. You might want to. I usually leave the ship at full throttle, but it's kind of your choice. So so here it is. You actually don't see the exclusion zone if you're not full throttle, which is really interesting. I didn't realize that. The exclusion zone with the ship in combat mode, so it's gonna be, say, this like curve that's on the right hand side of my ship. I can't tell if the direction that I'm pointing makes any sense. That way. So that curve on the far side of the ship, that's roughly where the exclusion zone is going to be. So somewhere in there. So basically like just avoid under all circumstances like that area of the star. And you'll find like if I'm just gonna like pitch away from it a little bit, like if I full throttle here, I move really, really fast. And so that's kind of what a lot of people don't realize is that like if you're full throttle around this thing, you're smashing into it in seconds. So you have to kind of be really careful about that, especially if you don't have it selected. And so to get a jet cone boost off of it, it kind of depends on like when you drop in, which one you might want to go for. Like if I drop in and I'm facing the star this way, I usually go for this jet cone end because it just gives me more time and space to line it up the way I want it. Some people will turn and go to the tight one. It's your preference. You kind of find what works for you. Never played this one. You're a big fan of the original on Spectrum. Nice. I still, I want to say the 1984 one is on the store. I keep meaning to. I gotta check it out sometime. I can't believe because I played a bunch of games from that era, but I never played Elite. I kind of wish that I had now. Okay, so I'm gonna, basically what I do is fly alongside the jet cone at a reasonable amount of throttle. Like, don't go too crazy because then it's hard to slow down and you end up going right out. So I would probably do half throttle, and I just like watch it out of the corner to see where I am in the cone. And right around here-ish, I kind of pull the throttle back and then angle the ship into the jet cone. And then as soon as I hear the start of the fuel scooping sound, there it is, then I immediately zero throttle the ship and just let the ship float. And then I have to supercharge. So for what happens for a lot of people is they go into here at full throttle and they end up going right out the other side. So there we go, we're out. And not quite out. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. And then they leave the ship throttle up and try to flip around to find the jet cone. And then what ends up happening is they end up flying into the jet cone at this angle with a fair amount of speed, and that's when you hit the exclusion zone. So that's where you want to be careful. Yeah, so these stars, neutron stars, these stars give you 300% boost, I believe, so 4 times whatever your base jump range is. And so a lot of people use them for jumping long distances. So like with a supercharged boost from this, my jump range becomes 248 light years, and my normal jump range is about 61 to 62. And so they're really nice because they let you jump huge distances. Like this ship can jump, 1,000 light years in 5 of these guys. But if you get dropped into normal space inside of this jet cone, it's extremely dangerous. And so kind of we're talking about like the technique of charging off of these safely, so that you don't ever accidentally end up in a scenario where you do massive damage to your ship and you're like hours and hours from civilization. If you can't find the star, like you're here and you don't know where the star is and you're trying to find it, just go to the nav panel, select it, and then you can use the compass to see where it is too. So then I know, it's hollow, I know the star is behind me. So then I can use that at 0 throttle to try and kind of like find it and let me know where it is before I actually ever enter the cone. And so then what I often do if I've missed the charge, this is one of those things that's a lot easier in virtual reality because I can look for the cone and it's, I don't have to worry about it. But when I'm not using VR, what I usually will do is set the cone kind of like this, like it's directly below my ship, and then just kind of like ease the ship into it. And then that way I'm not facing into the cone at any time, and it's a lot easier to get out. And you'll find like if you get moved around in here, you will get turned to face the cone, and just kind of don't go full throttle until you're facing away from the star. Because that's another easy mistake to make, is like if it throws you around and you're trying to get out in a panic and you like hammer the throttle forward while you're facing the star, it's the other problem. So just be gentle with all your kind of control inputs around these things, and that's kind of like the biggest thing. Don't do anything really suddenly, because it's a lot easier to recover if you're not, full throttle and not in control of the ship. And yeah, hopefully that's helpful.